G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kiralee and this is Kiralee Cosplay, where we talk about all things cosplay, costuming and sewing related. So the spooky season is officially here. I have seen that Halloween decorations are flying off the shelves and people are putting up skeletons left, right and center. And you know what that means? It's costume time. Halloween in Australia is not a very big thing, but oh my gosh, I wish it was. And I thought there's no better way to celebrate this spooky season than by doing a cosplay that is spooky. But of course, I'm not actually drawn to spooky characters, really. I'm drawn to characters like Tsuyu Asui from My Hero Academia, and that is what we are going to do. But you see, the thing is that she's got this costume, which this one is a fan art of this one, which is an official artwork by the actual creator, I believe, and I have decided that I'm going to make her because she is amazing. I love her as a character and this is a really cute outfit. I think I have all the materials I need for my stash, which is like extra awesome because it means it's a stash bashing kind of project, which I am all for. And I have also made the hat previously. Hey, if you want to see how I did that, that's up there. So this video will be the making of, or at least it will be part one of the making of, because I do not think that I'm going to get this all done in the 2 days that I've got given to myself to complete it. I don't want to rush it. I want to have fun with it. I love this character. I want to do her justice, and there is a fair amount of work that goes into that bodice. Yeah. So this is part one of making Halloween Witch of Sue from My Hero Academia. So now let's start off with breaking down the character design before I launch on into the skirt, and I will attempt to also cut out all of the bodice pieces. But I have a feeling that that construction will be in part two, which will be coming up the day before Halloween. Let's get cracking! Woo! Alright, let's talk about this costume. So I've already got the hat, which I've mostly based on this kind of look. It's not as like curly at the end, but you know what? It's close enough, it's good enough, I actually really like it. So the hat is done. I have the wig. I believe that I've put it away. I still need to style like the bangs a little bit more, but it does have her like little iconic hair loopy things at the bottom of it already, which is like a clip-in. We'll play with that in the next video. All right, let's talk about the costume. So I'm gonna work as always from the base up. I just find that's easier. So she has brown boots on, which I've got some brown boots, which is great. And then it's kind of like a greeny black kind of tights. I'm just gonna use my black tights that I've got already. That's the legs done, woohoo! Then we have this skirt, and this skirt is what I'm gonna be working on today. It's harder to see it in this one, so I'm just gonna use this one as the main reference image. It looks like it's got like a little white petticoat underneath, but I have a feeling that it's not there for real, like, puffiness or puffiness. It's there purely as a decorative piece. So I'm going to do that probably as just a rectangle skirt with a big ruffle along the base of it. So that's how I'm going to make that one. It should be quite easy, quite quick. Famous last words, but we'll give that a crack. So then we move on to her skirt, and her skirt is actually a maroon kind of color, like it's a reddy browny kind of color. It's printing out a little bit weird here, but trust me, I looked at it on the computer a whole lot. It is a very full skirt, but I wouldn't say it's a full circle skirt. It's either half or a 3/4 circle skirt, I'm gonna say. And it does have a reverse scallop edging. So, you know, that's fun. And it also has like either a gold or a orange trim. I'm actually gonna do it in gold because I don't have any orange trim. And that's just going along and going with the points as well. So I have enough material in like a burgundy red to do the outer skirt. What I'm thinking is that I'll probably end up lining it in a black because I have lots of black taffeta. So I think that's what I'm gonna do there. Moving on to probably the most complicated part of this outfit, like altogether, is the bodice. So I've already made up a mock-up of the bodice to a point that I'm happy with it, so I can kind of proceed from there. And we've got a few things that are coming between the two of these here. We have got essentially a front piece that is orange, and then the side pieces and the back, by the looks of it, all in black. And you actually see that the black straps come up over. So this is a little bit different to how kind of normal ones are constructed, in the sense that usually it goes over the bust line, so it comes in a little bit more in the center here, over the bust line, and then up over the shoulder. Realistically, it's kind of like a fake corset, so the seam is moved more over to the side, and that's what we're going there. Luckily, there is a pattern. Let me just grab it. So it's very similar to a dirndled, I'm sorry, I think I'm pronouncing that terribly, I am so sorry, kind of pattern, where it essentially goes up and over and across, and then you've got the insert. So I've changed this pattern around a little bit so that I can have the back zip rather than it being just one whole piece in the back and the front having the zip in the front here. I didn't like that idea. I think it will show a lot with this, so I've decided to do the zip in the back because there is no back shot of this, so I'm just using my imagination for the back, given what I'm given here. So I've used this pattern. There is a few modifications that I'm going to be doing, such as heightening up the front here because it gets quite low, I have found. So I'm gonna lengthen that up a bit and then have the ruffles attached directly onto the front section rather than having a top as a separate piece. I've done a puffy sleeve, so I've worked that out as well. But now I need to also work out the ruffles across the top, the ruffles on the sleeve, and then the front has a ruffle here on the orange. And then I got really confused about what happens with the rest of it. So what I've decided to do is I'm actually going to do a black ruffle to mimic that going all the way around. I saw another person who did this outfit and that's what they chose to do, and it looked really good. Here it's very hard to see, but there is kind of like a devil's fork coming down here, and I only saw that a couple of days ago, and I was like, what is that? And then I was thinking, oh, is it that the side of the coat goes down into a devil's fork? And I was thinking that would look really strange. So what I think I'm going to do, because I actually like that there's a devil's fork in there, is I'm going to have a little bow on her back and then have the tails being devil fork that comes out. So that's my plan. So as you can see, there's a lot going on. Oh, and I didn't even mention the ribbon. Very annoyingly, it's not a straight ribbon that goes across here. It interweaves into the fabric. So I will need to find a way to interweave the fabric without it fraying. I'll probably end up doing like tiny little buttonholes, and then have the ribbon tying in the center here. And then I'll do the crisscross of the ribbon going down the front of the bodice. That will be sewn into place. It's not going to be a corset kind of situation. It's just going to mimic a corset. And then the other thing is that I'll need to do whatever I do here on the sleeves as well, which is a bit of a pain. I was like, but here it doesn't show that. But then I'm like, shadows. And, you know, that will be a nice callback to this part. So I think I'll probably end up doing that way, but we'll see. We'll see how lazy I feel at the end of it all. So this is all the detailing work. This will be pretty much the last thing that I do. And we'll just figure that part out when we get to it. So that is the plan of the cosplay. Let's get cracking on the skirt. Hopefully I can bang that out today. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm going along and just doing a bit of a triangle kind of design because ribbon doesn't curve easily, so triangle it is, and I'm just pinning it down on the center points of the top of the arch and then at the point, and I will go around and then from there I will sew it down on both sides of the ribbon. and that will be the trim of the skirt. So let's keep on going with it. Here is the skirt as it currently stands. I still have to do the underskirt. It's a little bit longer than I anticipated, however that should be okay based on how I'm going to do the waist, which is just an elasticated waistband. I'll probably just raise it up there. So I just need to work out how much longer I need to make the white, and then do like an underskirt there. So that will be a rectangle skirt and then a ruffle on the bottom of the rectangle skirt. So not too complicated, but hopefully I'll do that tonight or tomorrow, because I have tomorrow off work as well. But yeah, this took longer than I anticipated, as all things do. You can't even really see the scallops all that much, but they are definitely there. It is a nice little detail, I suppose, and it was fun to work out, so yay! We're at the end of the first day working on like the costume part of this outfit, and I thought I'd chuck on what I've got. So I've got my hat, yes, I've got the skirt, and then I've also got the brown boots and the black tights, and they're working lovely. Don't mind the mess in my background, it is what it is. I am very much aware I need to clean it up, but where are the hours in the day, am I right? Anyway, so I think I'm going to stop here for tonight. I've got the mock-up of the top all set to go, ready for me to figure out the ruffles tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to rip it all apart and I'm going to start cutting and maybe start working on that. So yes, unfortunately I did not get through as much as I wanted to today. The skirt took more time than I thought it would, but it is super cute, super cute, and yeah, it is what it is. Hey! Good afternoon, it's currently 2 p.m. on the next day, and as you can see I'm standing here with my mock-up. So the mock-up went pretty easily together on Sunday, and I've made some notes. So for example, this section needs to be lifted because as you can see it's kind of not appropriate at the moment. So I'm going to raise that by 5 centimeters just to give it a little bit more height, and still it will be at a respectable length to have the ruffle put across it. I'm also going to be lengthening it about 1 centimeter. I am quite short, but this is just hitting me a little bit too short, so just an extra centimeter will make it sweet. And then what I also need to do now is I need to figure out the ruffles. So there's a ruffle that goes across here, a ruffle that goes around the waist with an orange section, and then the rest is black, and then there's also a ruffle on the sleeve. So I'm going to figure that out, and then I'm going to cut all the pieces out, and I think that will be me done for the day, and indeed this video. So stay tuned, let's see how far we get. Alright, so I've just figured out my measurements. I have got them written down on the piece of paper here. I am taking some liberties and some guesstimation based on the reference images. I mean, the fan art has different sizing to the real art. So we're just gonna go with it, and I think kind of close enough is good enough. So let's get cutting. Let's just get cutting. Alright, so here we have all the pieces cut out. So I'm very happy, managed to get that done in basically just under 2 hours, because I don't know why, but it took me a long time. So I've got 4 of the sleeves, basically, so I've got lining and the outer fabric for 2 sleeves. Then I've got the ruffle underneath it. Then I've got this middle section with the chest ruffle and then the orange ruffle at the waist. And then I've got the side back, and then center back, and then the waist ruffles there as well. So basically I'm just going to do all of the lining out of the same fabric as the outer layer, just make it nice and simple, and it feels good because this is really stash busting and I'm very happy about that. I don't know why I said stash busting or stash busting, but there you go. Anyway guys, that is basically it for now. I will see you all in a fortnight's time with the second part of this. So make sure you stay tuned, and I hope that you are liking the progress so far. Bye!